Hey there viewers, this is 1up28.6 of Game Over here, and we're back with our Let's Play of Bionicle, the game for Game Boy Advance. In this segment, we're taking on Pohatu Nuva's level. Now, I believe at one point I did say that Pohatu's level was my favorite out of the original 6, but I have to say that Pohatu Nuva's level is one of the worst, if not the single worst of them all. Onua's was definitely time-consuming with all the boulder pushing and nonsensical puzzles that led to nothing, and Gally's was annoying with all of the backtracking and sideways paths and whatnot, but this level just barely gives you enough Matoran to survive. You need to open both dark cages in order to get enough all 16 Matoran, and you need 35 light zones to open up both dark cages, and I believe there are 45 in the entire game. The entire level. And at least 10 of those are earned from fighting enemies, so you have to really search for everything. You will spend a lot of your lives falling into spike pits like that, but on the plus side, they give you way more than enough extra lives, so you don't have to worry about that. On the downside, they only give you exactly 17 Matoran, so you really can't miss very much in this level. You have to leave no stone unturned. And, in fact, I did say that Onua's level definitely seemed playtested and unfinished, but this level at first I thought was literally unwinnable. There is a section later on where you need to bypass a bunch of long pits filled with spikes, and boulders fall into this one room where they have literally no use. So I just assumed that the intention was for you to carry them out and use them in a later room where you needed them. Of course, you can't carry boulders between rooms, and my assumption was that someone had taken out the ability to carry them from one room to another and hadn't changed the level to reflect it, making the game completely unwinnable. Obviously, since I'm still playing the game, I found the solution and it was ridiculously simple. I'm rather ashamed that I hadn't found it earlier, but we'll get to that point later when it shows up. In the meantime, I'll just continue going through this. And you reach that poor Matoran. I really hate those, whatever these wolf-like, dog-like Rahi are, because they will walk into pits, but their attack does like a third of your HP and damage, and they take like 5 charge shots to kill. They are probably the single strongest enemies in the game, aside from bosses, and actually even including bosses. But since that one drops light stones, you need to kill them. Alright. Back in here. We're not gonna teleport yet, of course. Actually, yeah, no, we'll teleport later. I clearly have no idea what I want to do right now. But for now, we'll just work on this side of the level. There were 2 pathways we could have taken at the very beginning, and we'll just finish this one off before we start on the next one. I missed. Now, I should probably block the fire, but I'm not going to, because that seems like it will take more time than I'm willing to put forward. Yeah, excellent. Alright, so now we can cross safely, which I'm pretty sure is impossible without the platforms up, even for a Pohatu Nuva. Alright, oh, I remember this room, I really hate it. There are 2 frightened Matoran in it, we're just gonna have to kill all of the enemies to save them. Not very difficult, just a bit of a waste of time. But for 2 Matoran, I guess it's definitely worth it. And down here's an enemy we haven't seen in a long time, the bug that used to be my least favorite. I don't know why I ever really hated them, they're ridiculously easy to kill. Alright, we've got 5 saved in about 4.5 minutes, so we're making decent time so far. I'm sure all of that's about to change. With any luck, we might finish in less than 20 minutes, but that's it's virtually impossible, so we're looking at 25 minutes probably for this segment. In the meantime, we just need to keep going onward, keep passing through the levels, save every Matoran we can in the meantime. And I think, yes, now I know where we are. We're back in the rock slide room. How many light stones do I have? 16. Okay, there is a pathway up to the left there, you might be able to see it in a second. Well, it's just off screen, but there's a pathway up there, just remember it for later, because we're gonna be going there later. Or don't remember it, it doesn't really matter, I'm gonna be going through it either way. But in the meantime, we just have to waste some time looping around pointlessly. Because what kind of game would it be if we didn't do that? Answer, not a Bionicle game. The placement of the shrines is pretty good, though. They did a good job in this level. They're all well spread out enough that you can get to wherever you need to go, but you can find one always easily. I don't really get how to run across this bridge. There's probably some way to do it safely, but for me it's just pure chance whether or not a boulder hits me. And as usual, we can skip the entire rock puzzle because we have powerful jumps now as a Pohatu Nuva. So hooray! Once this platform rises to the top, we can jump just high enough to get to the next ledge. Right, it's just the boss door if we keep going up that way, so for now, we'll just take the detour through a Pohatu Nuva place. See, this is what I mean about being way over-excessive with the extra lives in this level. Wow, that was ridiculously stupid of me. Right, I kind of forgot that I need to kill them before I can save them. Mission accomplished. Hooray for horribly, horribly programmed computer enemies. Oh, and if this isn't my most favorite room. 2 Frightened Matoran, 2 of those impossible to kill guys with 100 HP and 700 attack points. Flying enemies just because why not, and 1 Rahi just to waste your time leaving it off the edge. Oddly enough, there is no back wall in this level. In that room, it was just a pit on the opposite side. Kind of weird, but okay. So after about 5 minutes, these enemies should be dead, and we'll be able to collect 2 Matoran. So until then, we just have to circle them shooting pointlessly. Because that's what makes the game fun, isn't it? I don't even know if any of these enemies are actually, like, part of the Bionicle storyline, or if they're just random enemies that look like they're made of Lego. I guess they probably used real enemies, but I don't remember ever seeing anything even resembling this guy. So I'm kind of unsure now. Okay, that wasn't too painful. Just kind of time-consuming and pointless. Oh, but you really don't want to die at this point, because then they respawn and you have to kill them again. So, word of advice, do not walk off the edge, do not let them hit you. Excellent, 2 more saved. Still making decent time, oddly enough. I'm still waiting for that to change. After about an eternity of the platform descending, we get a couple more light stones. Still doing good. We're right at the end now, the boss door is just below us, so I'm gonna teleport back to the beginning. We're gonna take the Pohatu Nuva path this time. And oddly enough, if you, like, throw the rock completely out of the way, like, even a bit more so than this, actually, the message telling you to try and move the rock is actually attracted to it. So even if you've already moved it, it will still center on the rock instead of a passageway. I just thought that was a little unusual and interesting. Okay, that's not good. I want to save this little bit of HP if I can. I doubt I'll be able to, it'll probably shoot me as soon as I get up, but let's try. There are 6 light stones up here that we can't miss. Yeah, that was kind of stupid of me. I literally walked into its shot, so I have no one else to blame but myself. Right, there are 7 more Matoran how many do we have? 9, so there are 8 more Matoran in the level, and 5 of them are inside dark cages. So, We just really have to find 3 more. Minimum of 2, but we're gonna find all 3 just because they're not hard to find. Right, this is a pretty unusual room. It seems to be designed for one purpose, but it's, there's one way to hit the switch, but it's actually easier to just jump and hit it with a double jump in the air. So it actually really supports my theory that this game wasn't really playtested very well. I haven't really encountered any, like, game-ending glitches or anything, which is surprising. But I'm pretty sure you're intended to use this platform to hit the switch. The switch just lowers this boulder, which you can throw down. Activate the shrine while we're here, just in case. And then we can use this platform to get back safely, because if you just drop from that ledge, the fall will kill you. Unless you have, like, full HP, in which case you'll be left with next to nothing. Right, this platform actually just lowers you down to the bottom. So you're probably supposed to use it to fall safely, but you can fall safely from that height anyway. So it's kind of pointless. Much like this change in viewpoint, pointless. Right. So anyway, once you throw Rock onto this platform, onto the switch, the 2 platforms in the corners move. You can ride this one up to the next ledge, and you can ride the one up there up to the higher ledge than that. And that's where the entire rest of the level is. I think there's only one room we haven't been in outside of the ones up there. And that's just where the last arcade is, so there's no reason to, like, rush into it. Half of the level is spent, of trying to, carry rocks around, and the other half is spent waiting for platforms. Counterintuitively enough, you have to fall into the pit to go onward here. Seems kind of like the opposite you do, because there's, aside from the water, there was no other place where you should fall into pits. I guess it was kind of hinted, what with being the only open area, but so, like, there being nothing up there but the pit. But even so, it seems counterintuitive. Right, with them dead, we can save Matoran and move onwards. It's kind of maze-like under here, all the paths look similar, and they branch off in a couple of different directions, but it's pretty easy to find out where you're going. You don't need to kill the enemies, but the Rahi gets in the way, so it's best just to lure him off the edge at the beginning. And I'm not sure which one, but one of these has a bunch of light stones come out when you kill them. So you might want to do that. Yeah, get 4 light stones. Right now we only need 4 more to unlock the pit, both Dark Ages, not sure why I keep saying pit. Anyway, 2 rocks fall when you hit that switch. They're completely useless in this room, which is why I thought you were intended to carry them out to other rooms to use. But, actually it was all just a hint, because none of these, aside from this one rock here, there were no rocks in any of these rooms before, and there were a lot of spike pits you had to avoid, so I figured that it was impossible to beat. Once you hit that switch, though, a bunch of rocks fall in a bunch of different rooms and let you get through. I don't know why I'm trying to kill that guy, that's not the one I'm thinking of, so ignore it. There's one a couple of rooms forward that will give you a crystal light stone when you kill it. Alright, we have now 12 Matoran. Still making pretty decent time. It is entirely possible we might finish before 20 minutes, but still not very likely. Because there's quite a bit more to do in this game, or in this level. Alright, this is the one that'll give you a light stone upon its death. But it's the small one you have to kill, not the big one. There we go. Alright, we only need 3 more, and then the game is complete. And there is an enemy in the room with the Dark Age itself that will give you one of them. But if you go back down this way, and I believe in this direction, yes, there's 4 in this direction, so we definitely have enough to beat the game. Alright, it is technically possible to get across here without the... Oh, there's 5. It's technically possible to get across without these boulders being here, but your jump has to be, like, frame perfect. With save states, it took me like 50 tries or so to do it. You cannot screw up, it's definitely not intended to be possible. But it's just so close to being possible that I was sure that there was some trick to it. But no, there isn't. Alright, just a few more rooms and we're gonna be out of this underground section. I guess maybe the entire level is underground, but I'm not quite sure in all honesty. Okay, this is a pretty time-consuming part of the level, so we're gonna waste a lot of time here. What we have to do is there's 3 platforms here, which each lead to an individual switch, and there are 3 rocks in the room. The platforms all move at different speeds, fast, medium, and slow, and we have to put a rock onto the switch at the end of each one. There's no difficulty in it, all it does is pad the game length. So, after all of this is done... Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to actually do that too often, to try and jump across. It's killed me more than once. On the plus side, even if you die, any rocks that you put on switches will remain there when you come back. So you can enter and leave this room as many times as you need. Don't know whether the fast or the slow one... Yeah, I'll take the slow one right away. As the name suggests, it takes quite a bit of time to get over there. Close to 10 seconds, I think. Alright, now we only need the one more to finish. And all of this is just to get out of that underground area, because since you come into it through a pit, you can't get back up. So if any time you enter that area, you have to go back through this way. Alright. Only one more rock, and then we can move onward. Almost missed it, I should be paying more attention. Alright, so shift in viewpoint to show the platform that's gonna fall. And for some reason, the platforms that actually are already moving don't freeze during that, if you would say so, cutscene. Which, it's a mild annoyance of mine when they don't in this game, but I don't care that much about it. Alright, now we just have to wait for the platforms to fall, and then go through the last couple of rooms, get the last couple of Matoran, and finish the game. Excellent. I'm not quite sure how many we have now, 14. Yep, so the only ones left are the ones in the last dark cage. And we have well over enough light stones to get in there. And by well over enough, I mean 2 more than needed. Yeah, there's that one platform, the one area that we didn't see, but I told you to remember. Way earlier back. Right past the rock slide room. Like, the first time I entered that secret area, I entered it from the exit. So I had no idea what to do, because there weren't any rocks at that time in the spike pits, so I couldn't get past to the entrance. I don't want to die on this bridge. And, so I wasted a bunch of time putting the rocks on the switches, which only let me get back up to where I was before. It was a nice little diversion, which is one of the reasons I hate this level. The puzzle wasn't hard, it was just me not thinking enough to actually solve it. It was me not knowing that there was a puzzle, and immediately assuming that the game was just poorly designed. Which, in my defense, the game has at no point in time tried to prove otherwise. Alright, so we go up here, the boss door is right in front of us, and we're 1 or 2 rooms away, actually, from the dark cage. I still have to say, though, I really like the idea of putting the boss door into the ground. That was clever. Wow, I could have just warped up there. Mild waste of time, but not a big deal. Right, as soon as you move that big rock, fire will shoot at you, so just put the little one on top to block it. Which it barely does, but barely still counts. Right, so we're gonna pass the 20-minute mark in a few seconds, but we can definitely make the whole 25-minute mark, seeing as we've almost finished. And it's practically an impossibility for me to lose all 7 of my lives in this room, so I'm not really that worried about it. And I've already fought against the boss earlier on, when I tried making an earlier version of this video, but it's ridiculously easy, so it's no problem whatsoever. Right, the last time I entered this dark cage, I remember that after leaving, a avalanche, or rock slide started, so yeah, it happens anytime you leave. It has nothing to do with how many Matoran you have, clearly. Alright, excellent. So now I can get back into the exit. I don't know why they had this avalanche, or rock slide, or whatever start. It's kind of more than pointless. Like, even if any of them hit you, it's gonna be almost no problem. I guess kind of just the last insult of the level, seeing as by the time you get to that part, you're probably done. Well, at least they put it right by the end, so that's good enough. Keep moving. A moving target is harder to hit. Right, so what does this enemy do special? I think their attack is a bit wider, maybe? But it does no extra damage, it does no special effects. It's honestly a really pointless attack. Like, you could probably trade shot for shot. This is the easiest of all the Roshi. There's not even a debate about it. It has no special power, except maybe it has a wider attack radius, I'm not quite sure. And even if it does, its attack isn't at all more powerful. Can its attack maybe follow you, or... I'll move over here just to test this theory out. Nope, doesn't look like. It doesn't attack any faster, it doesn't attack any... its attacks aren't any faster, to my knowledge. It doesn't look like a difficult enemy at all. Definitely the most depressing of the bosses, and the most annoying of the level. Oh, just hurry up and die. Somehow that's hitting it, and I'm not complaining. Alright, so not too long to finish this segment. Only one more Roshi remaining. Well done, 5 down, 1 to go. We're winning. Right, Lewis is the only one left, so it looks like the next segment might be the last, unless they have like a third transformation or whatever. For now, this is 1 of 26 of Game Over, signing out.